Bill Maher has never been shy about what he thinks, and he's built a career on saying the things most people are too afraid to say out loud. Especially when it comes to religion, Maher's opinions are as bold as they are controversial. He's never hesitated to question the role faith plays in society, or to challenge the comfort it provides to millions. For years, he's questioned faith, seeing it as something that discourages critical thinking and often stands in the way of scientific progress. Maher believes that blind acceptance of religious dogma can prevent people from asking important questions about the world around them. Maher is an equal opportunity critic, targeting every major religion with the same sharp wit. But he's especially fascinated by Mormonism, which he sees as a unique American phenomenon. To him, Mormonism is a modern case study in how religions are born, right here in America, with well-documented origins and a history that's still within living memory for many. He treats the story of Joseph Smith and the Golden Plates as a script that demands a leap of faith over logic, highlighting how extraordinary claims can become the foundation for powerful belief systems. Maher's style is pure provocation, using satire and humor to challenge beliefs millions hold dear. He believes that comedy is a powerful tool for exposing contradictions and encouraging people to think for themselves. He argues that if a belief can't withstand ridicule, it shouldn't shape laws or politics. For Maher, the separation of church and state is essential, and he's vocal about the dangers of letting faith dictate public policy. Mormonism's recent history makes it, in his view, easier to scrutinize and a prime example of how fantastic stories can become powerful institutions. He points out that its rapid growth and influence show how quickly new faiths can take root. For Maher, questioning faith isn't just comedy, it's a public service, urging people to think critically about their beliefs and the impact those beliefs have on society as a whole. He warns that blind faith can lead to dangerous decisions, both personally and nationally, and that skepticism is a necessary safeguard in a free society. It's a bold stance, making him a hero to some and a villain to others. But for Maher, the conversation is always worth having, no matter how uncomfortable it gets. Maher always starts with the origins: Joseph Smith, the Angel Moroni, and the Golden Plates. He presents these events with skepticism, highlighting details like seer stones and secretive translations. To Maher, it sounds more like a magic trick than a divine revelation. He questions why so many build their worldview on a story with no physical evidence. Maher also pokes fun at unique doctrines, like God once being a man and the idea of ruling over planets. His comedy strips away the sacredness, challenging how such extraordinary claims became the foundation of a global faith. For Maher, Mormonism is the perfect example of how a charismatic leader and a compelling story can launch a powerful movement. Maher doesn't just focus on origins, he scrutinizes the LDS Church's controversial history. He highlights the priesthood ban on black men, calling it a major moral failing and questioning divine inspiration. Maher argues the Church's changes often follow social pressure, not revelation. He points to the Church's political influence, especially its role in Proposition 8, as evidence of its power beyond religion. For Maher, the Church's history of discrimination should make us wary of its influence on laws affecting minorities. He frames the LDS Church as both a spiritual group and a powerful political lobby. By spotlighting these controversies, Maher argues the Church must be held accountable for its past and present actions. Maher loves to talk about money and power, and the LDS Church has plenty of both. For years, he's highlighted the Church's vast financial resources, pointing out how its influence stretches far beyond the spiritual realm and into the world of high finance and real estate. He frequently cites the Church's massive wealth, over $100 billion in investments, and questions its tax-exempt status. Maher argues that with such a staggering fortune, the Church's financial dealings deserve the same scrutiny as any major corporation or investment fund. The 2023 second settlement, where the Church paid a fine for hiding its portfolio's size, was a told-you-so moment for Maher. He saw it as validation of his long-standing suspicions about the Church's secretive financial practices. He argues the Church operates more like a secretive hedge fund than a charity, especially given its tithing practices. The way money is collected and managed, he says, resembles the strategies of Wall Street more than the open books of a typical nonprofit. Maher asks, why should ordinary members donate when the Church is already so wealthy? He questions whether the faithful are being asked to give out of genuine need or simply to grow an already enormous fortune. He insists organizations with such resources and tax breaks deserve public scrutiny. Maher believes that transparency is not just a legal issue, but a moral one, especially when so much money is involved. The SEC scandal for Maher proves the need for transparency. He sees it as a wake-up call for both regulators and the public to demand more openness from powerful religious institutions. Ultimately, Maher wants to pull back the curtain on what he sees as a financial empire operating behind the church's spiritual mission, urging viewers to question where faith ends and business begins. Even Maher acknowledges that the LDS Church has changed over the years, especially when it comes to social issues that have dominated public conversation. The Church, once known for its strict stances, now finds itself navigating a rapidly shifting cultural landscape. This evolution is not just noticed by outsiders, but also by many within the faith who see the Church responding to new societal expectations. The Church's public support for the Respect for Marriage Act in 2022 marked a significant and highly visible shift. For many, it was a surprising move, signaling a willingness to engage with issues of LGBTQ+ rights. However, Maher points out that this support came with important caveats, namely the protection of religious freedom and a clear statement that the Church's core doctrine would not change. He interprets this as a calculated strategic move designed to maintain the Church's influence and reputation, rather than a genuine change of heart or belief. The Church now speaks more openly about love, compassion, and acceptance for LGBTQ+ people, and its leaders emphasize kindness and respect. Yet the fundamental teachings and policies regarding same-sex relationships remain firmly in place, creating a tension between message and practice. Maher argues that this is an attempt to appear more progressive and inclusive to the outside world, while still holding on to exclusionary beliefs that have defined the Church for decades. The Church is clearly adapting its public image and rhetoric, but for critics like Maher, these changes are not enough to address the deeper issues at play. He sees the Church as trying to have it both ways, modernizing its image to appeal to a broader audience, while avoiding any real doctrinal change that would challenge its traditional base. The debate continues. Is the Church genuinely evolving to meet the needs of a changing society, or is it simply protecting its influence and relevance in a world that's moving forward without it? The debate between Maher and the LDS Church reflects a larger clash, faith versus evidence. The Church has become more open about its history, publishing documents and addressing controversial topics. Critics like Maher see this as the Church finally admitting what outsiders have long claimed. For believers, faith is a spiritual truth that transcends historical complexity. For Maher, if the facts don't add up, the foundation is shaky. There's little middle ground. Faith and reason rarely meet. Maher's scrutiny keeps tough questions in the spotlight, pushing the Church toward transparency and challenging everyone to examine their beliefs. Whether you see Maher as a truth-teller or a cynic, the conversation about power, transparency, and belief is central to our modern world.